I'm here with Jan Seismans, who's Director of Product Marketing here at SugarCRM. He's here to show us how to quickly and easily socially enable Sugar6. So Jan, take it away.
Thanks, Martin. And the key thing where I want to start here is our homepage. So what is one of the big problems that companies and users have today with all of the social information that is out there on the internet? Well, this information is not represented inside of their CRM system. Salespeople live inside of the CRM application. Customer support people live inside of the CRM application because this is where they manage the relationships with their customers. If they want social information, they have to go outside of the application. So what we're doing here is, by some simple configurations, we're bringing social capabilities inside of the application. And the first thing that I wanted to show out here is Twitter, for example. So if I wanted to know what was going on the World Series, I can do a quick search and I can now see all of the information and the latest tweets on the World Series from within my CRM application. And this is, again, a search capability. I can do Twitter, I can do Google, I can do Bing, I can do Yahoo, I can do any other search function that I want and embed it here within Sugar. The second part that I have is the notion of my social status. Employees and users love to be able to tell everybody what their social status is. Well, if they go onto Facebook or they go onto Twitter and they update their social status, it's not necessarily very business oriented, or we can't go in there and say I'm meeting with prospect XYZ and put that on Facebook, because then the whole world will know. Well, here within Sugar, using our social streams, I can easily update my social status, my status, to the rest of my team. And then the third thing is an RSS aggregator. RSS feeds are a way that companies want to share information with the world in a very, very short way. Again, with Sugar, I've embedded an RSS feed and posted that on my homepage. So Martin, is quickly a view of how an end user could configure their homepage to get the information that they want.
Okay, and that's a great holistic view of how to kind of socialize, your initial contact with the system, starting your day, doing some searches, telling the world what you're up to inside your company. Great stuff. Now, how can I do my business a little more socially in terms of, managing leads, managing accounts, things like that?
Well, that's a very good question here. So again, the problem with a typical CRM environment is that it's not very flexible, it's not very open to allow to bring in information from outside of the system. So what we've done here in the contacts record, we've added a couple fields. This is a field, a Twitter name, we have a Facebook name, we have a LinkedIn name, or we have even the URL for your blog, and we've added these into the contact field. So if I now save, what you'll see is we've taken your user information, your user names, and we've added them to the record. You see the Twitter name, you see Facebook name, you see a LinkedIn page. One of the key things about Sugar is about flexibility and openness, and making it easy for end users as well as for administrators to represent information in the way that they want to do this. So what we've done here and what we've shown is different ways how you now can show this social information. In the case of Twitter, I have a integration with Twitter where we're using the Sugar Cloud connectors to pull in information from Twitter and represent that in a small pop-up window over here. I can also just show a URL, which you would click on the URL and you would go to an external application to get that information, which in this case would be here Facebook or LinkedIn. Or a third way of representing that information is by using an iframe and then showing your blog here inside of an iframe inside of the application. Again, I talked earlier, the reason why you would want to use a cloud connector, so you want to use this approach, is that it allows the end user to still find the social information without having to leave the CRM application.
That's great. So all this information is coming from outside. No one's actually entering each blog post. No one's actually entering the tweets. You're quickly and easily grabbing information from the social universe and pulling it into your CRM system, kind of turning it into a bi-directional system where you're not just, which most reps hate to do, enters data into the system. They're actually pulling information from the system, making their jobs a little more easier, adding productivity, eliminating the kind of cold calls where you learn more about your leads or a contact before you make that call. That's really great stuff.
Yes, and so what you saw here was that I actually created some fields for this. But you can do the same way with using the existing fields that exist within the system that come out of the box. And what we've done here in the account, for example, in the account record, we've taken the address information, we've taken the company name, and we're going to do a search on that. The address information, we all use mobile phones all the time right now, and if you click on an address within a mobile application, it automatically will pop up a map. Well, in the same way in SugarCRM, we've taken here the information of the address, and we are using that information, using a simple integration with Google Maps, and we are representing that information inside of Sugar. And you saw it here, that's this tab over there. The same thing we can do, we can take the company name, the account name, that's this record over here, and now embed it with inside of a Twitter search. And so what you have now is that all of the information that's out there on the Twitter world around this account is now being represented inside of your application. Once you do this simple configuration once, it is available to all records within your application. And one last thing is I wanted to show out, you saw those tabs over here. As you're trying to integrate all of the social information, it's going to become very cluttery. Most CRM applications represent everything on one sheet. Okay? What we've done here in Sugar 6 is we allow for you to represent this information in a nice tabular format. So I can add and configure as many tabs as I want over here. The end user now can choose to go look for information simply when it's relevant and important to them. They're not being represented as information all the time, and then have to really scroll down the screen all the time to just find the information that they were looking for at that moment. So it makes the application a lot more intuitive, a lot more easier to use, and it speeds up the way people can find information.
Great.
Another element that I have is, and that social people like, is the ability to mark something as a favorite. So by just clicking on the star and making the star yellow, this is now a favorite. And later, I can then search for just my favorites. So if I have 5 favorite accounts that I work with, or a couple contacts that I work with all the time, rather than doing an extensive search within throughout the system, I can quickly do a search within my favorites, and I find the information, again, much quicker.
Great.
The last thing I wanted to show is go back to the home screen over here. So where we had our Twitter search, we had the information that we used in to configure our screen, and we had our social feed over here. I can take this social feed and I can use the same feed that I have, but I can now look at the entire organization. I can allow the entire organization, both individuals as well as records, to send updates to either specific teams, organizations, or the entire company, and send these updates automatically. And what's a great example that I had? So earlier today, I actually closed an opportunity here, Heavy Machines, and within seconds, my boss, Jim, saw that I closed the opportunity because he subscribes to that feed, sent out a little message to the entire company, shout out to me for making quota. So this is, again, a great way of how we're integrating the social capabilities that people are used to using within Twitter, within Facebook, within other social applications, and representing that inside of Sugar. It's something we've been doing for a year and a half right now, and our customers really find it's a very powerful way of disseminating information throughout the organization.
Yeah, it seems a great way to communicate and get updates without really cluttering your inbox. You know, salespeople are always going to use Outlook or some kind of email, but they should probably be using that with, conversations with customers that get archived into the system. If they want to talk to each other, do quick notes and congratulations for making quota, for example. It's great to do that in the system. It keeps people inside the system, drives adoption, puts more value into the CRM system. So really, really cool tool. And as you're saying, our customers are getting more and more excited about, the social abilities that we're adding, and this is just one of those. So again, thanks, Sean, for showing all this, but I wanted to reiterate, you didn't add any lines of code here. This is all done with the out-of-the-box system itself or with the tools we give out of the box. That's correct, right?
It's simple configuration of the system, nothing more, nothing less. So Sugar is socially enabled out of the box. Any administrator, any end user can configure their environment, their UI to make it a lot more socially enabled. That is correct.
Great. Well, Jan, thanks for this quick overview of the social features in Sugar 6. I really appreciate it. Thanks.